Hi, welcome to my channel. Today we are making this Summit Pack by Cloud Splitter. It is very cute. It actually comes with card slots in the front pocket. There's a gadget pocket in the main area. Here there's also internal zipper pocket. There's an external zipper pocket and an adjustable strap. Not too difficult to make. I did not make many changes at all. Really, the only changes I made were to the interfacing, and that's because I like to have more of a squishy backpack. So I used SF101 and fleece, and the only place where I did use the foam was for the gadget pocket, just you know, for the protection of tablets or whatever else you're going to put in there. But super cute. So like, subscribe, dislike it, I don't know. But just like let me know what you think of the video. Let me know what I can improve on, and let me know if there's any other crafts that you might want to see. If I do craft other things, so if I can make it happen, I will. So see you making this bag. Bye. Okay, so let's get started on making this Summit Pack. A few things, I guess, before I get started. I am using a Juki TL18QVP. My thread is a Tech 70 that I get from Sunny Sewing Machines. My needle is a size 18 needle. My zipper I get from both moremeknow.com and My Handmade Space. Let's see. My hardware I get from My Handmade Space, sometimes from Joann's. Also Emmeline bags and moremeknow.com. So I'll link everything down below as usual. My interfacing, so that I did it a little differently than what the pattern suggests for my interfacing, but I did SF101 and then for majority of the other pieces I did fleece instead of a double SF101. So for the back I decided to do fleece as well, but for the inside pocket I did do the foam that it asks you to use. So let's getting started. This is going to be an inside gadget slip pocket. So what we're going to do is we'll take our right sides together. One side will be fused with foam, and we will sew them together with our smaller stitch length of about 3.5 to 4 with your seam allowance. Oh, I don't know. You can clip it. I just did it this time just because the fabric's really not going to move too much. And you'll back stitch at the beginning and at the end. And then we'll flip wrong sides together. And we will switch it to the top stitch or basting stitch length of about 4.5 to 5. Once again, if you are using a domestic machine, you just check to see what stitch length you like on your domestic machine. Mine is just a high performance. It's not an industrial, so just taking my time. And now we're going to take our inside, our lining piece here. And line it up. And then I'll clip it just so it doesn't slide around, and you'll just baste it in place. So now you have your first slip pocket done. It's called like a gadget pocket, which is why the foam is there to protect it from when you put anything else in the other pockets. So I will put this to the side. And next we're going to deal with our card slots. And just a tip with this pattern, it doesn't have the label pieces for the additional cuts. So I would definitely suggest making your own little labels for all your additional cut pieces, because it does become a lot. There are a lot of additional cuts. So I didn't mark my lines, so I'm going to mark my lines real quick. Okay, so I went ahead and marked my lines. I did do it off camera because this is not my pattern, so I don't want to show any measurements or anything. Obviously, the link to purchase the pattern will be posted below. It's not a difficult pattern at all. I like it. I think there are some parts where I'm using vinyl. In order for it to be more domestic friendly, I'd probably suggest to do all fabric for this. Now, I was pretty confused when I first made this, but they want you to do this, I want to say it's accordion style. So you're going to fold it this way and then take the other line and, oh, sorry, wrong way. Fold it this way. Fold it this way and then fold over. And then you'll fold on that other line down, and then you'll fold over. And in the end, it'll end up making your card slots. It gets a little confusing, but but in the end, you get it. You'll get it, you'll get it, you'll get it. So I'm going to go ahead and press these down off camera real quick, just so we can get this going. Okay. Okay, so you see how you have now your card slot pieces. If you want, I mean, I'm not going to do it this time, but you could take some fusible buckram, excuse me, 809 or even Decoville Light, and fuse it to right here, like, you know, just at that little top piece to give this more stiffness if you wanted to. You know, that's up to you. But as you can see, so how it's folded. So this is the bottom piece folded up and then folded over, folded up, folded over, folded up. All right, nice and pressed. So we'll take the top piece, fold it back, and we're just going to top stitch all of our top card slot pieces. Hold on, please. I'm back. Sorry about that. So let's get these other top stitch pieces going here. So it'll just be 3 card slots. All right. So now we have our slot pieces top stitched, and now we will get our side card slot pieces on. Just trimming all that excess off. So we have our card side pieces. Another, I don't know, quick tip, if you're using directional fabric, just watch your measurements, because which way is your vertical and horizontal when you're measuring your pieces, so you don't have sideways pieces. Just getting this excess interfacing off. Alright, so now we'll have these pieces, our side card slot pieces, right sides together. Using our required seam allowance. Smaller stitch length. And I'm just going to do both sides and then switch my stitch length to top stitch. Alright, so it's up to you. If you want to press these pieces back with your iron, you can. I'm not gonna do all that. Let's just get going. So we are going to top stitch right here. After we flipped our pieces right side out, we'll top stitch about 1/8 of an inch. And almost like I said before, almost all top stitching is going to be 1/8 of an inch from your seam. It's kind of like a rule of thumb, unspoken word, I don't know. But that's what you do. Right. So now we have our card slots. One thing that I find very satisfying is taking pattern pieces and being able to put them aside. And you're like, oh, I don't need that label anymore. Yay, I don't need that piece anymore. How exciting. I don't know. Could be me. I could be weird. So now we're going to take our back piece, our back card slot piece here. Put it to the side, right sides together. Oh, this is a water-resistant, waterproof canvas, whatever you want to call it. I get mine from Walmart. It's called Pro Tuff in the fabric section. You can also find it online for more like fun colors. I just stick with the simple stuff because majority of my fabric is super busy, so So we're just going to go ahead and sew the 2 long edges back to our smaller stitch length. leaving the short edges untouched. Don't touch them. Let's put those back. You could trim your seam allowance. I don't think it's that big a deal. I'm just going to turn this bad boy around. It's a struggle for me here, I see. There we go. So here I will give it a quick little press with my iron, just because, you know, turning it always wrinkles things. So steam, steam, steam. So now we're just going to top stitch the top. So where your card slots go, just going to top stitch that. So that 4.5, 5 stitch length. Just be careful to go slow over those humps. You don't really have to go fast with sewing at all, but if you're a speedster, just be careful. Alright, so now we are going to get our pocket lining piece, pattern piece to the side, and oh wait, do I have the right piece? My thing just like went crazy. Let me make sure I have my right piece, because I won't be messing that up. I've done this before, but I always get, you know, paranoid. I'm gonna hit this with a little steam. If you are deciding to use like a waterproof canvas like this, do not iron on the shiny side. Iron on this side with a lot of steam. So I need my ruler. We need to measure how far from the top and our angles need to be here. Make sure I got this right. I do. So now we will top stitch. And so what we'll do is we'll baste this in place on the side. We'll top stitch right here. And then baste on this end here. And now it's going to leave a little pocket on the inside as well. Stop moving. Yes, you could clip it, because I'm making this like way more difficult than it should be, but you know. Right, we'll top stitch across here. Being Careful to go slow over those level changes. Top stitch the sides here. Clip, and then we will trim the excess fabric. Now, if you somehow like miss this part and over here, that's fine. You can go and rebaste it after you trim it. It's in place right here, so you're good. It's all good in the hood. Probably should get like a little bit sharper scissors, but it's good. All right. So now you have an extra little pocket here. I don't know, maybe like for passports or something like that. So we'll put that to the side. So we got that taken care of. And now we are going to deal with the actual strap. And this pattern, I do it in order just because there's a lot of pieces to keep track of. A lot is going on. It's not complicated. It's just a lot of pieces. So go ahead and we get our strap bottom here. And I'm just getting some of this excess and interfacing off. So now what we will do is we're going to fold the raw edge short end of only one side in, and then we'll press it and then fold it in and fold it in. So I'm going to do that real quick. Be right back, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Okay, so this is what I was saying. You fold it in one raw edge, then you fold these two into the middle and fold it over, and now you have your bottom strap here. And we'll go ahead and top stitch. Yes, there is raw edge here, but it will be taken care of. Don't worry. So we'll go ahead and sew this like normal strap, top stitch on the eighth of an inch from the edge, top stitch like all right. So we got that done. Now we will take our adjustable slider, and we'll take the non-raw edge. That's gonna drive me crazy. Non-raw edge, and slide it through and down. And you can both sew it down and rivet. Right now I'm going to sew it down. I probably will rivet later, but we'll see. If you're not going to rivet, I would suggest maybe doing a second line of stitches, probably about here. You can make a whole box if you want, you know, just to give it some stability. And then take the raw edge and come back around through, oops, wait a minute. Need our D-ring, our swivel. Put the swivel on first. And then you'll come through and back through. And now you have your adjustable strap. If you're planning on directional, make sure the raw edge, so you see how my helmets are up, so make sure the raw edge is going to be the top of your directional fabric. So when you have your strap, you can see your pattern the right way. Okay, so now we can put that to the side, and we shall move on to the top. The top strap top is a little bit differently. So where there was double woven or double SF, I did do the double SF on the strap. It is a strap, so you want to make sure that it's got the sturdiness, stability, and woven is really to keep it from tearing your fabric. So to double it up on one side of the strap is absolutely acceptable. I followed the directions there. Once again, getting that excess off. This is driving me crazy. Now there is a little something that they suggest you to do in order to angle the strap. So I did not do those lines and angle it the way they asked yet. So I'll go ahead and do that real quick off camera, come back and finish this strap. Okay, so basically you're going to taper off the sides. So it's not going to be one straight long rectangle anymore. I did, however, not pay attention to my helmet's direction they were going. So I'll make sure one side is the right side and one side's the wrong side of the strap. So this is your strap top, and now we will have these wrong sides together. You do fold up the shorter raw edge, and I did press it with my iron. And let's clip this together. All right, so I should put a clip on this side just to be safe. So they are right sides together, and now we will sew this at our seam allowance with our constructive stitch length, the smaller stitch length. And we're only sewing the two long edges. Make sure you back stitch. And then we'll do the other side. Now, we will turn this right side out. I find it kind of difficult. I think starting from the wider end, I'm guessing, is probably best. I don't know. I couldn't tell you. But I know there's like little tools that you can use to turn things like right sides together like this. But all right, it's not going to work on this one, but we will go ahead and get these turned wrong sides together because we need to get that done. If you have a better suggestion, feel free to let me know. Because I just don't know. I mean, I guess this is sufficient. I guess it's not efficient though, I guess. It's got to be a quicker way to do this. Anyways. almost there. Totally not going to edit this out so you guys can see the struggle bus is real for me. Maybe it'll work now. And like, majority of this is like pushed through. I don't know. Can't see. Ow. Don't whack yourself with your sewing machine. That's a good tip. Like last time I did this, I could have sworn I figured out a better way to do this, but right now it's not coming to me in my head. Come on. This is definitely a unnecessary struggle. I'm positive. Like, why am I struggling so hard? I don't know. Oh, sweet big Jesus. Yay, snaps for Christian. Sorry. If you've seen Legally Blonde, you get what I just said. All right, so I'm just going to press this out because obviously it's got wrinkled. We'll just press this down. What was the longest part of this video? Watching Christian try to turn this strap out. All right. So now that raw edge. So we're going to take that strap piece that we made. Raw edge is going to go into the smaller part of that top of this top strap. I'm just going to shove it in there. Make sure you have it in there a decent amount. And so now we will top stitch. So we'll top stitch that 1/8 of an inch, and we'll go all the way down the long edge, the short edge, and back up the long edge. At our top stitch length, and I'm just holding this piece here just to make sure this strap piece does not fall out. You don't have to worry about this raw edge either. That'll get shoved in another spot. But we are going to go back 1/8 of an inch from that previous stitch we made and top stitch again. So make sure when you put your strap in that you put it in enough for it to be caught in both of these top stitches. I probably should have said that before. Okay, so now I'm gonna put my snips. Put this back. I need to go. So now we have our 2 top stitched lines here, and we can just go ahead and put that to the side. Next thing, we need our anchors. And our 2 D-rings. Here we go. So we have our anchor pieces. Fold it in half. And normally you will see I use a lot of double-sided tape with a pattern, but because the straps are fabric, I didn't have to this time. So a little bit of double-sided tape to the middle. And you can mark your middle, your centers if you want. I mean, it's a small little piece. Just fold it in half and put your tape there. It's probably not the best advice, but it's okay. Move that double-sided tape. I'm gonna put the 2 longer edges up together. If your machine does not like double-sided tape, don't take it to the ends. Or only do the ends. Yeah, because you're going to cross in the middle here. All right, so our top stitch length, we'll do the sides here. Oh, I won bobbin chicken. Look at that. Bobbin just ran out. Sweet. All right, let's get new bobbin in. Okay, so now you'll slip your D-rings through here, holding the wrong sides together, and we'll just baste these together. That was funky. And we'll put those to the side. All right, so put these to the side with the other pieces. Next, we will get our zipper pocket, the lining zipper pocket, and our lining piece here, our front lining piece. That one to the floor, it's fine. And see, we'll measure our pocket here. Let's find our center piece, our center mark, center piece, center mark. We'll mark our pocket. On the wrong side of your pocket piece, you're going to mark where your pocket is going to be. Okay, and so now we find out, we'll mark how far down our piece needs to be from the top. Okay, and then like we normally do with our zipper pockets, we are going to sew those 2 long lines that we made. And we'll sew it at our smaller stitch length. And of course, you'll want to try to match those start and stop points. And then, we will mark our center. Down. And I usually go about a ½ inch before I start and stop. You might want to get more in the center next time and make those little dart marks. And then we will turn you. I don't think I said this, but you put the pocket piece right sides together to your lining piece. And once you cut that little piece out, you'll turn your wrong sides together. Sorry about that. I probably should have said that sooner. Now, here with the waterproof, water resistant, whatever you want to call it, you can steam press it from the front if you want. You want to watch yourself on this side since there is some shiny on this side. So, normally I just finger press it and keep it moving. Like, only is that serious, but you know, it could be to some people. So, make sure you pull those darts all the way out. And you can just kind of like push roll these pieces out where the seam is, just to make sure you're getting that full pocket opening. And then I'm using just a multi-purpose zipper this time around. So the metal pieces I don't really like to mess with, so I cut them off. You can take double-sided tape if you'd like, just to hold your zipper in place. I'm not about to do all that, so I'm just going to hold it here and move it right along. You're going to place your zipper in your zipper hole, I guess. I don't know. And switch to this top stitch length because you will be seeing these stitches. So, and you'll stitch around the rectangle. All right, so this zipper we do not have to keep open. I am going to trim these edges and also get a lighter to seal the ends of your zipper. It'll keep it from fraying over time. We'll flip this piece up, and then you'll just sew all around, and you'll have your pocket done. All right. So we'll switch to our constructive stitch length and close the zipper pocket. Now we have a functional zipper pocket here. I'm going to put this to the side and we will move along to our back panel piece. So I'm going to mark where my zipper needs to go. I messed up a little bit on this part because I switched from foam to fleece and didn't realize that I forgot to cut my opening from out of my fleece, and that gives you really like where your zipper is going to go. fine. So, there's a suggested way that they have you do the pocket. For some reason, I can't get it right, so I just do it the normal way that I do it. So I'm going to just cut this into 2 pieces. I've done this bag 3 times, and I still, for some reason, can't get that pocket done the way they suggest it. So I'm going to go ahead and mark it here. Oh, let me find my center. And I'm doing this slightly different, but it's still fine. Like, it's still gonna work out. Get my pin. Mark my zipper. Okay. And now we'll do it just like any other time we do a zipper. Constructive stitch length, right sides together. So, because I do have fleece within this zipper panel, I am going to just go ahead and fold it in half and cut down the center instead of using the X-Acto knife. So I'm going to fold it in half. And make my center mark here. And then do like we normally do. The darts. All right, let me get better pair of scissors. All right. Now we're going to fold that wrong sides together. And because there is fleece within the zipper panel, I am going to fold this out. I am going to press it on the fabric side, just so I know it's flat. It's nice and flat. So I'm going to press it real quick. Be right back. Okay, so now we can go ahead and put our zipper in place, making sure that our zipper bowl is facing to the top. Now, I know you might be like, lady, like you just cut through that fabric. There might be raw edges. If you're paranoid about those raw edges fraying right there, take some Fray Check or Liquid Fusion, whatever fabric glue you like, and just put it in those little corners right there. And you don't have to worry about that at all. Not even in the slightest. Get my zipper in place. You could use double-sided tape here if you'd like. That's up to you. I'm not about to do all that, so y'all know. I'm like, yeah, right. It's good. It's fine. It's all good. Right. Okay, so this is a zipper that we will leave open. You can trim that excess piece off. It's up to you. I'm not gonna worry about it right now. It's like not gonna bother anybody. So now we'll keep the bottom piece open, so we'll just sew the short edges and then the top edge. Make sure you have that smaller stitch length, the constructive stitch length. You can clip this if you want. Oops. Sorry if you hear thumping in the background. Hold on. Okay, sorry about that. Had to take care of the littlest one. But like I said, not closing the zipper pocket. Gosh, those stairs get me every time. Whew, winded. All right. Now, let's remember to open our zipper all the way and make sure it works nice and smooth. Got our pocket open, and we shall put our piece to the side. Next thing we shall get, move that out of the way, get our shortest main zipper and 2 of our zipper tabs. And we are going to, right sides together, take your zipper tab. So your right side of your vinyl to the right side of your zipper. And place that down. So I'm using vinyl, but I did this the wrong length. It's okay. If your machine doesn't like layers, definitely use fabric in place, because you had to fold this back over. So since I'm here, I'll go ahead and get my zipper tabs on the main zipper as well. All right, so now we'll fold those tabs back and do a quick top stitch. Nice looking top stitch. And top stitch the rest of these real quick. Okay, so now we have all of our zipper tabs on. We'll take the smaller zipper. Oh, first we'll do our zipper cover. That's if you decide to do the zipper cover. That is optional. You don't have to do that. You can press it to be wrong sides together. Just kind of line it up. It's up to you. I'm just going to go ahead and add a top stitch length, wrong sides together, and your it's only necessary to stitch the short edge and then your top stitch along the long edge. All right, we're losing some pieces here. It's exciting. Put that to the side. And now we're going to take, excuse me, our front pocket piece and our shoulder zipper. Now, make sure if you only have one pull on, make sure your pull is going to be going to the top. So we want to make sure our pull is going to the top. You don't want it here because you open it this way, everything's going to fall out. So make sure it closes to the top. And I'm going to trim this excess here. It makes for being able to line your seam allowance up a lot easier instead of trying to just like figure it out. Sorry guys, what's going on there? So now right sides together, making sure our zipper is in the right place, and we're just going to clip, 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 clip. Okay, so now we're just going to baste this zipper in place, you will use that top stitch length of 4.5, 5, and just make sure your zipper does not move. All right, so now what we will do is take that lining piece that matches up and clip the lining piece down, right sides together. Okay, so now we can go ahead and actually sew this down. Okay, so I should have said this before, but a tip, when you're dealing with zipper, well, we're going to put these wrong sides together. When you're dealing with zipper on a curve, you want to make sure you're pushing that zipper flat as you can possibly get it so that you don't have wrinkly zipper, you're not catching the teeth on accident, you know. So you see, it's actually a nice little curve here, but I was pushing that zipper down. So we folded the wrong sides together, and now we'll go ahead and top stitch. And once again, pulling your lining and your exterior away from the zipper with your top stitch length. Take your time going around these curves. I feel like my machine is super loud today, and I am sorry about that. I don't know. I oiled her, made sure she was happy. She must not still be happy. Okay, so we got our top stitch down. Next, we'll take the piece that we put our card slots on, and now we're going to clip. So as you can see, we have our right side up, right side up. We're going to baste the zipper to that lining piece. So clip, clip, clip away. All right, so now we're going to baste this zipper in place. I'm just making sure you move this pocket piece slightly out of the way. So now that is basted in place. Okay. Very nice. Now we have our front pocket here. Nice with our card slots. So now we're going to take our exterior piece here. And this is how it's going to sit. So my suggestion is to definitely lay it I'm sorry, I got some excess fleece that I just want to get out of the way. All right. Lay it like this, and this point here is going to match up here. Okay, so now just fold it back and clip it down as best as you can. A lot of clipping here. This piece is kind of an awkward piece, but if you take your time, you should be able to get it laid correctly. Oh. You get to the bottom, you'll have to definitely curve it a little bit to make sure this piece is going to match your lining piece here. And this you'll sew at your regular seam allowance here. Well, your zipper seam allowance at least. Same here, pushing your zipper, making sure it's flat. I'm going to go ahead and move my zipper pull out of the way. Alright. So now we'll fold this back and we will top stitch here. All right, so make sure you have your top stitch length. All right. So now I am going to trim this little excess piece off, making sure it pretty much lines up with the bottom. Now we take our top zipper, well, the longest zipper, and we're going to clip it down and baste it down. Because I know there's a lot of basting, but it's worth it. Definitely worth it. All right. So we'll take the lining piece where we had our pocket and line that up. So you line that point to point here and follow the curve. Okay, so now we're just going to use our full seam allowance here. And using our smaller stitch length, go ahead and sew this down. Okay, ran out of bobbin there. So now we'll fold wrong sides together. And we shall top stitch here. Make sure you're pulling your lining and your exterior away from your zipper teeth. Alright, so now that we have that done, we can put this out. Zip all that. So we will be taking our, is there a lining piece? Yeah, our lining piece. Okay, so the lining piece, the way it goes, we're taking it this way. And it'll go like this. Oh gosh, I confused again. I want to say, yes, okay, sorry, this part always gets me. All right, so the right, we're going to have the right sides, so the right sides of the lining pieces together. Let me cut this piece off here. This is the third time I've done this bag. I still get confused at this part, but it's okay. It's fine. And so we're going to clip away, following this curved edge along with your zipper. And then we're going to baste this in place. And you can trim that little excess of that zipper tab off at the bottom. Okay, so now we'll just baste it in place real quick. Okay, so this is where you're going to put your zipper cover on, and we'll place our zipper cover right side up, and then you'll baste it in place. All right, so now we're going to take our B piece, that top piece, and we're going to right sides together, and it's going to be kind of an awkward curve here, but it's fine. Clip it down that long edge down. And now we'll use our zipper or seam allowance here. Smaller stitch length and go. Make sure you back stitch. Sounded like there was a skip stitch there, so let's move that zipper out of the way. Skip stitch a little bit further than where I thought it was, so I'm just gonna go back over it. Okay. Now we will take wrong sides together. Wrong sides together. Pull the zipper out. Take that lining and that exterior piece, pull those pieces wrong sides together. We're going to do top stitch. Normally I have my Teflon foot on with vinyl, but it's not a lot of vinyl, so I'm not going to worry about it. But here, you want to kind of pull and tug a little bit. Normally you don't want to tug too much, but just so those pieces match up. And we'll go in top stitch. So 4 1/2, 5 stitch length. We've got most of this bag put together now. Very nice. Very nice. Okay, so here's the part where you could like trim your edges here, that excess that's right there. Make sure your lines, the bottom lines up pretty well. Things get shifted, so they might not line up perfectly, but you definitely want to look out for that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to clip. I'm actually going to trim this off. All this is going to get clipped and sewn together in just a second, so it's fine. Bring all those edges together. And I'm going to clip it down. You can clip a little bit of this excess here as well. And the pattern pieces shift, so it's okay. Just clipping all this. Clip. Okay, so now what we're going to do is take our exterior piece of our side piece. We're going to lay it like this. All right, so our curve matches. And what we're going to do is there's a little curve, there's like a straight edge at the bottom, and line that to the bottom. And now we're going to follow that curve around. Making sure that it's the right sides together. I use a lot of clips here. Okay, so you definitely want to pay attention to this curve at the top. It's going to get a little awkward, but if you work with it, pay attention, kind of push it in right here, that curve, you should be able to get it to work out for you. All right. So we're just basting this in place. So there's a part where you need to taper at the tip of this, which is why I'm basting it this way. Normally I don't, but I want to make sure I get this right. Sometimes you might need to like take a moment, rip the clips off, and kind of like manhandle it a little bit, I guess. So we're going to do the same thing with the lining piece. We're going to line that straight edge up to the bottom, right sides together, and clip away. We're almost done. Almost done. I'm just going to leave this piece unclipped because I know I'm going to have to end up moving it. Now we're going to just use our regular seam allowance here. Constructive stitch length. It gets really thick here, so just take your time. If you have it domestic, I personally, honestly would say don't even bother with vinyl. That's my personal opinion. You could have a domestic that works with super thick layers. All right. Now we are going to do same thing. We're going to take our wrong sides together or right sides out, however you want to say it, and we are going to top stitch. Same here, you're going to tug a little bit on that lining piece, 4.5 to 5 stitch length, and go slow. That is done. Now to our bottom piece. We'll do the exterior first. Let's see. I think the best way to do this is to clip part of it and then maneuver when you have vinyl. With fabric, you probably can be able to clip like all of it, but I've had some issues trying to clip it all and ripping the clips off like you saw me before on the other piece. So I'm just going to go ahead and just make sure the corners line up. That's like the more awkward part of this bottom piece. The rounded piece is the curved part of the bottom is what you're basting on. Right sides together, obviously. Well, I shouldn't say obviously. It sounds kind of rude, but. And we're just going to baste this exterior piece on here. I think because I use vinyl, it makes it a little bit more complicated than it should be. But in the end, it works out. Bottom is on. Whew. Now we have to do the same thing with our lining. So with the lining, because of the exterior on there and everything, I honestly I'm not even clipping it. You can, if that makes you feel better, but I'm just not, because I am going to have to maneuver this bottom piece around. Oh. The shorter stitch length here. Just making sure your edges line up, making sure that curved piece is lining up. edges together. Maneuver that bag a little bit. It's a skip stitch there. Alright, so I'm going to go back over that skip stitch that I heard. I know I heard one here. And I heard one somewhere else. Right here. Why do you keep skipping right there? Go slow. Okay. Make sure everything was caught. Fold it wrong sides together. We will not be top stitching here. Roll that out. All right. So now what we're going to do is going to take our, I want to say, lining pieces. Yeah. Take our lining piece with that gadget pocket and line it up. Now you can find your center here, find your center here, and then work your way up if you'd like. It's probably the best solution, best way to do this. Kind of mash those corners a little bit. So we're taking that gadget pocket lining piece and the rest of the bag, and we're clipping it right sides together, making sure we catch the bottom lining. And I just saw that. Make sure to catch the bottom lining piece. All right. Yes, I use a lot of clips. I really do. I just want to make sure nothing shifts. I mean, at this point, you could possibly staple it in place if you wanted to. All right, so now we can baste this in place. I'm going to start from here at that top stitch length. And so for some reason, my piece did not line up well. So I'm just going to trim right where it didn't line up. It's okay. It does not mess the bag up or anything. So we have basically our bag is done. Now all we have to do is get our strap on and make sure when you're doing this. Okay, so here's your right side of your bag. When you have your strap, that strap adjuster is going to be facing the right side of your bag. So that's probably the easiest way to make sure that you're not putting your strap on backwards. And we'll just baste this in place. I am doing 2 baste lines just because it'll be just to make sure, you know. Okay, and then we'll get our anchors on. There's a little excess in these corners that I'm going to get off. And they'll go, making sure your D-ring is facing inside toward your right side of your bag. Basting that in place. Okay. And I have 2 just in case the person wants to switch sides. Okay, so now we're going to take, making sure you still have that pocket open, we're going to take the right sides together. You can clip your strap to one of the D-rings. Each time I do it, just to make sure I don't catch, I just shove that strap into the pocket. And now we're going to go ahead and clip these right sides together. And you'll have to kind of mash the bag a little bit out of the way. But these are the final steps. We're almost done. Make sure those D-rings are away from your seam, where your seam allowance is going to be. You don't want to catch metal. Make sure that strap is out of the way. I mean, you could not clip the strap to the D-ring and just shove the whole strap in the pocket. That might work better for you, not having to worry about hitting any metal whatsoever. Here, if you wanted, you could most definitely add staples to the curved part if you wanted to. Push that bag exterior out of the way. Everything lined up. It's a little tight, but you got this. Just gonna shove it where it needs to go. Dang it. I need to watch my words. All right, so I'm gonna start at the top. At your seam allowance, given smaller stitch length. Not too bad. Back stitch. Take your time. You don't need to rush through this. I do feel like I should have checked my bobbin. When you start to get to some of those thicker layers, definitely go slower. Like right here is where I possibly could use some staples, but all right, time to birth the bag. I am going to double check our camera angles here and be right back. Okay, so go ahead and birth the bag. And pull the strap out. Push that top piece out. And then start to pull from the furthest corner. And push at the same time. Slow and steady. I don't know if you hear any noise in the background, but that's my husband and the children. Come on. I'm almost positive this is easier to birth if you did all fabric bag. But where does the front? I don't even know where the front pocket is now. All right. Push, 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 push. Alright, turn this right side out. Ooh, and there we have push these corners out. Pull the top up a little bit, not too hard, but corners out. All right, we have ourselves a sling bag. Just pressing these seams a little bit, shaping the bag, getting the bag shape. That would come from and this is also where you double check you caught everything. It looks like it skipped some stitches right here. It did. Alright, I'm going to fix that. Which means I'm going to have to partially rebirth this bag, but this is the bag. So give me a moment to fix this, and then we can close the zipper. Okay, so I fixed that little piece. And now we can just close this pocket and this bag is done. Yep. And so we will pull our lining pieces out. Roll these pieces in. Oops, line that up correctly. I'm going to clip them down. I don't roll them in too much just because I want as much of the pocket to be used as possible. I don't want them to lose too much pocket space. And you can do top stitch length, constructive length. I use a constructive length just because you're shoving things in and out, in and out. Oh. My thread is shredding. That's weird. Come on. Okay. That was weird, but anyways, I use the tighter stitch length just because, you know, people aren't thinking about what stitch length you use. Oh, did they use top stitch length? Maybe I should be more gentle. So, using the smaller stitch length to give the pocket a little bit more stability. Probably need to change my needle, which I do after every project, but I think that's why it started shredding. All right. Bag is done. I'm going to shove that back in there. You want to push those corners out a little bit as best as you can. And there we have it. Our summit pack here. So, once again, like, subscribe. I don't know, dislike it. It's fine. If you have any other crafts that you might want to see, I don't only sew, that you might want to see, comment below. Let me know if it's something that I can make happen. I will. But other than that, thank you so much for joining me for this bag. It was a lot of fun. As you can see, it didn't take that long. So it's super cute. And there's ways for you to change this up if you want. So, see you next time.